Hello everyone, this will be a different video from what you are used to on the channel, but this one will be about the new Steam Autumn Sale. This one is going from November 22 to November 29th, and since I played some of the games from this year and other years, I want to give some of my perspective and some of my opinions on whether you should buy some of the games that are on sale right now on Steam or not. This is based on my opinion, so you'll probably have a different opinion than me. Now, these will be games that I will give you an opinion on the price point and if the discount is good enough to buy them or not. We'll go over by the different genres that we have here, although it doesn't cover truly everything, but we'll go over them and I'll let you know. Only the games that I played, of course. So, we go into action, and from here, I see already some games that I played. Now, Tales of Arise, here. I tried this game for a bit, I was never a Tales fan, so it's also very fresh for me in terms of the Tales franchise. Although, from what I saw, enemies are tanky, way too tanky, and the gameplay is very linear, there's no like big open world or anything, and for a JRPG I felt it was very lacking when you compare it to other JRPGs. For example, Star Ocean, which released this year and is much better. I just think that it lacked the skills in the gameplay. They didn't feel meaty enough when the impact that you have on the enemies didn't feel any good. I think that even with the 60%, it's not worth it. But I will reserve my full thoughts because I only played around 5 hours of it. From my experience, the story was a bit lackluster. It was way too much dialogue. The dialogue were in like square sequences. It was very much a bad way to present dialogue and present story, my opinion. The few cutscenes that we had were okay, I guess, but just the overall combat was not very good. Now, Monster Hunter World, even though I played it only for a short while, this is a buy for any price point. You are getting 50% off here, so go ahead and buy it. This is worth it for sure. I don't even need to say, almost everyone knows what Monster Hunter World is. I would say that though, if you don't like co-op, it's still doable in solo, but some of I think the harder bosses will need to be done in co-op. New World, it has been seeing a bit of a resurgence these past months with the new, I think, DLC or expansion that came out. I didn't like it at the beginning. I think it's very PvP focused. There's not enough PvE content, and for an MMO, I like it to have like a good balance. And the PvP was never something that I enjoyed. I only play Final Fantasy 14 right now as an MMO, but for example, I don't bother with PvP on there, and I don't think it's a big part of MMOs in general. There are some that a lot of people like, but most of the people will go for the hard PvE content. Raids, for example. Mythics in World of Warcraft, Savage Ultimates in Final Fantasy XIV. No one is there for hard PvP content. Now, we go a bit lower and we see Sekiro. I think everyone should grab this game. 30 euros, it's a steal. This game is amazing. I played it once. I want to do another playthrough. It's from Software at its best. It's probably the best From Software game, in my opinion, of course. Elden Ring is a close second with Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne right after it. I just love Sekiro due to to where it takes place, you know. The mobility that you have with Sekiro is amazing. The bosses are amazing. The locations, the levels, everything. It's probably the best From Software game, in my opinion. Doom Eternal, I don't think there's anything else to say here as well. 17 euros, 49 cents. Huge steal, amazing game, amazing follow-up to Doom 2016, despite controversies with music soundtracks and anything on Mick Gordon's side. If you are speaking without any drama aside and just focus on the game, it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's a good follow-up to Doom 2016. Now, we go to God of War. I don't think anything needs to be said about the God of War either. It's an amazing hack and slash in the Greek mythology world. It's amazing. go buy it. Now, Cyberpunk. I was a big advocate for Cyberpunk when it launched. I felt it was amazing. Yes, there were bugs, there were a lot of issues. Still, Cyberpunk, I loved it. It's not Witcher 3 from CD Projekt Red, but it's a good game. I think the world design is probably one of the best I've seen. It was a treat to travel in Night City. I was never bored traveling and doing quests. I think the geeks were way too many, not enough story. Side quests in Witcher 3 compared to Cyberpunk. Yes, Witcher 3 content is much better. They dropped the ball there. Still, I think the overall plot, the city is really amazing. I think they did it well. There's been seeing a lot of researches to the Edge Runners anime. I haven't seen it. I know that it's good. I'll probably watch it when the new expansion comes out, and I'll play that as well. Devil May Cry, nothing to say here as well. One of the best hack and slash games. You don't really need to know a lot about the story. There is a recap, although it's good to know the story. The older DMC games are very old, but very much worth a buy at this price point. It's a steal, in my opinion. Let's see a few more, and then we go to another genre. From here, Red Dead Redemption 2. Nothing needs to be said. One of the best Rockstar games. Just full immersion on the Western world. I mean, it's amazing. So for this price, it's a steal. Same thing with Spider-Man. If you are into like Arkham type of combat, this is amazing. Now there is some problems with it. I would say the collectibles. It can seem. I mean, they could have added more side content that into the Spider-Man lore, but no, it's a lot of collectibles, and that can drive you insane if you are someone that doesn't like to do collectibles. So I think the price is still a bit steep here. It's not that big of a discount, but I would say go for it. Code Vein at 10 euros. If you are into Souls likes, it has that anime look. So if you aren't into that, of course, even for 10 euros, I would say try it because the combat is that good. It's better with co-op, but there's a solo option with the companion. The game, I think it gets way too easy with your companion, but if you go solo, it's incredibly punishing. Still, amazing game. You should go for it. For 10 euros, it's a steal. Now, let's go a bit into the adventure side here. Persona 5 Royal. I think also nothing needs to be said here. I mean, it's not that big of a discount. It just launched. 41.99. Still, with how good Persona 5 is, you get 100 hours plus of content, all the DLCs. You should buy it for sure if you are into JRPGs, turn-based combat, and life simulation games. Grounded, another Obsidian banger, 29.99. Buy it for sure if you are into survival, if you're into base building, and a good overall story, I think. From what I've seen, I haven't really played it myself, but the little I've seen, I think it's really good. Now, what else? There's Stray. I don't think it's worth this price. This is a 3 hours game. If this was like 5 euros, I would grab it. I would say it's not worth it. Don't go for it. I played it. It's very casual. If you like cats, sure. But still, you won't be replaying it. So, for 3 hours of gameplay, I think this is something you watch on a YouTube, or somewhere. You just watch someone else play the game because it's really not worth to spend that kind of money on this game, in my opinion. Scarlet Nexus. Not worth it, even at 22 euros, not worth it in my opinion. Play this game, gets overly repetitive, overly dull. The dialogue and the story plot gets old pretty quick. The NPCs and your companions, they say basically the same thing over and over. There's some parts where it tries to emulate the life sim of, let's say, Persona 5. It just drops flat. It's not good, and I don't think you should buy it in my opinion. Go over to casual. I don't know what this should be. I don't think I've played anything here. Let me see a few more. Vampire Survivors. It's amazing. They're not that big of a discount, but amazing. So go for it if you want roguelikes. Even as a like something when you are bored, it's a good way to spend time. Return to Mikey Allen, one of the best surprises of 2022. Not that big of a discount, but still, I would say grab it for 18 euros. It's amazing. It's a follow up to the Monkey Island 1 and 2 games that we got decades ago. It's a good follow up, and the story keeps going. I just didn't like some of the twists, especially towards the end, but overall, I think it was a really, really good reimagination of Monkey Island, and I hope that they bring a few more. Worth to buy at any price. Don't think there's anything else here. Now we go into RPG. RPG, a bit of the ones that I guess some of the tags, RPG, action, adventure, they are the same for some of these games, so that's why you see them here again. Let me see if there's any other that. Borderlands 3. No. I actually just started playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and I hated that game, especially due to the dialogue and some of the decisions regarding loot, regarding the gameplay. They changed a few stuff from Borderlands 3 to Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and I absolutely hated it, especially the lucky dices, where it will, like, better drops will only happen if you collect these dices, otherwise your lucky drop chance is just awful. Borderlands 3, lots of controversy. Sorry. The looter shooter gameplay is amazing, as always. Some of the legendaries are not as good as Borderlands 2. Still, what I think is the biggest problem in this game is really the writing. The NPCs, they are really abysmal compared to, let's say, Borderlands 1 and 2. So, if you like some of the writing from Borderlands 1 or 2, or even if you are completely... you never play the Borderlands, for this price, I would say it's worth it. It's a good entry into the Borderlands, but I would say that you need to shut your brain off when it comes to the dialogue and the story. Go into this game if you like looter shooters, but if you are someone that expects a great story out of a game, you won't get it here for sure. Now, let's see. Solasta, one of the best CRPGs right now that you can buy. $13.99, amazing. This game will give you over like 40-50 hours of content. If you are a fan of turn-based CRPGs, this is one of the clear best in terms of gameplay. Story, pretty bad. It's pretty simplistic. I don't think the devs focus too much on the story. The highlight is really the gameplay, and it's amazing. From skills to different abilities, companions, the tile placement, enemies, how combat is done. I think it's amazing, and you should buy it if you are into CRPGs and turn-based combat in games. Now, I don't think I need to speak about this game. It's my favorite game ever. For 10 euros, it's an absolute steal. Go play it if you haven't. I would need to speak for like 45 minutes if I was here. Just go ahead and play it. Now, some of strategy games. Let me see. Mount & Blade Bannerlord, I have it, but I never played it. I've heard that it's a good follow-up to the first Mount & Blade, so go ahead and buy it if you are into sandbox medieval strategy games. What else we have here? Divinity Original Sin, one of the best turn-based CRPGs in the market. You can see from this little video that I'm watching. It's truly amazing. And if you are into fantasy, if you are into choices in dialogue, a lot of agency for you, companions, a party, amazing turn-based combat system, skills, variety in skills, variety in enemies, variety in choices, in exploration. Just one of the best in the market. I think that's about it from what we have here. I won't go into sports and racing and controller and co-op because I don't follow up on this type of games. Well, I gave you a few recommendations on what to buy. The prices are really good for those that I recommended. There are some that I wouldn't even recommend on the low price because they are that bad. So keep in mind of that. Of course, all of this is my opinion. So there's that. And I think that's a good recap. I like these type of sales. They are good, especially for lesser known games like indies. It will help the developers get more recognition and get a few more sales. Hope everyone liked this video and see you on the next one. Bye.